And then this one I've been, god damn it, who is fucking messaging me? Hey, it's Sue in the restricted section. Today I thought I would show you guys my TBR for the rest of the year. This is of course not everything I hope to read by the end of the year because some of it I don't know. But there are a few books that I know I'm going to read, and also I am doing the Book Riot Read Harder Challenge. So I have 9 challenges left to complete for that, and I do have books picked out for all of those challenges. So I'm going to talk about all of those. So let's get into it. First of the books that I'm currently reading that I will finish, the first one being Dune by Frank Herbert. I am over halfway finished with this. I'm buddy reading it with Adam from Memento Mori and Erica from The Perks of Books, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's not a quick read by any means. It is pretty dense and pretty meticulous, but it's quite good. So I am liking that one a lot, and I should finish it this week. Next is one that I started actually before I started Dune, but I just haven't had time to finish it because I've been reading that instead. But that's The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I'm really loving this book too. Yeah, I only have like 150 pages left, but I've been behind on my buddy reading of Dune, so I haven't had time to also read this, but I will finish this as soon as I finish Dune. And then there's a couple books that are things that I'm just kind of slowly working on. One is Consider the Lobster by David Foster Wallace. This actually will count toward my Book Riot Read Harder Challenge because it's a collection of essays, and that's one of the challenges. And I've read the first 2 or 3, and I did enjoy them. So I plan to pick this one up after I finish Dune and The Hobbit. And then this book I've been working on for a while, and I don't really know when I'll finish it, but I do hope to finish it at some point this year, and that is Alfred Hitchcock Presents Stories Not for the Nervous, collection of, it's short horror stories, plus it's got 3 novelettes and 1 novel. So I've read most of the short stories already, but still have the novelettes and the novel to go. This really isn't a priority for me. I just pick it up whenever I feel like it, but I do want to have it done, you know, at some point. And the next one is one I got from the library, and it will count toward my Read Harder Challenge actually, because there is the challenge to read a nonfiction book about feminism. So I checked out Shrill by Lindy West. It says Notes from a Loud Woman. So it's just her experiences being a loud woman, I guess. And then I have one that everybody ran out and got and read immediately, and I went to the midnight release and I still haven't read this book, and that's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Yeah, I went to the midnight release with my friend. I gotta be honest with you, I actually had no idea where I was going or what we were doing. She just texted me and was like, hey, do you want to go get this book with me? And I knew it was like Harry Potter or something or other, but I had no idea what was going on, and I just went along for the ride, and you know, I was there, so I got one. But I do want to read this ASAP as well, so I've got a lot of books this month, and I'm like, I want to read all of these, but I haven't had much time for reading here lately. I don't know what I've been doing. I just had other socializing and stuff. Yeah, you'd think for someone whose channel name is a Harry Potter reference, I would have been more in the know there, but I wasn't. Next month, Adam from Memento Mori is doing a read-along of The Divine Comedy, and I do plan to participate in that, so I will be reading this next month. Then I also had talked to Kathleen Ann here on YouTube about perhaps buddy reading Slammerkin by Emma Donoghue. So Kathleen, if you're watching, do you still want to do that, and when? This book is about a prostitute living in, I think, London, yeah, in the 1700s. I don't know a whole lot else about it other than that, but Conrad from The Deckled Edge said it was really good, so I believe him. I feel like my look is like Dennis the Menace chic today. Also, I fucking love these overalls. It's an overall dress, actually, so expect to see a lot of it because I've been wearing it like at least once a week since I got it. Another book that I probably will read next month is a comic book called Charlie, which I don't have a copy of yet. This comic book sounds really cool. It's a sci-fi western, and it's set in future America, and these aliens called the Toroks have invaded, and there was a war between the humans and the Toroks, and this comic book follows Charlie, who is a robot who patrols the Toroks zone, like sort of like an Old West Marshal. So it sounds really cool. There's also, I think one of the main characters is like a really kick-ass female character, which is always great. But my friend Finus actually has co-written this comic book. So it's written by him, his name's Finus Massey, and Chris Burgess is the other writer. And then it's drawn by Christopher Harris, and the artwork looks really cool too. But they have a Kickstarter going on right now, which I will link below, and they're only about $500 away from reaching their goal. So, you know, if that sounded interesting to you, then go check out their Kickstarter. There's rewards for if you donate. I think if you donate at least $10, you will get a signed physical copy of the comic book, which is pretty cool, I think. So yeah, if you're into sci-fi or comic books or westerns, then go check it out and, you know, donate if you can. And then the last books on my TBR are all books that fulfill my book write goals. So the first one I have here is The Apprentice by Jacques Pepin. This is, yeah, his memoir about his life and cooking. I used to watch Jacques Pepin and Julia Child on PBS when I was a kid, and I fucking loved them, both of them. And I thought they were so great together. Him being amused by her always amused me. So, I don't know. I love Jacques Pepin, so I want to read his book. And one of the Read Harder challenges is to read a food memoir. So there you go. And then next I have Sex vs. Survival, the life and ideas of Sabina Spielrein. And this is written by John Lawner. And it fulfills the challenge of reading a biography. And Sabina Spielrein was best known for having an affair with Carl Jung, but this book goes more in depth in her life and talks about her accomplishments in the field of psychology. Next, I want to read Dawn by Octavia Butler, which is the first book in this Lilith Brood series. This is the entire series together right here, and this fulfills the challenge of read a first book in a series by a person of color. And I wanted to read this anyway because I've read some Octavia Butler before and I really loved it, and all of her, pretty much everything she has written has like fantastic reviews from anybody I've heard talk about it and on Goodreads and everything, so I'm sure I'm gonna love it. I'm just gonna read the back because it's somewhat complicated-ish, but this says, Lilith Ayapo is in the Andes mourning the death of her family when war destroys Earth. Centuries later, she is resurrected by miraculously powerful, unearthly beings, the Oankali. Driven by an irresistible need to heal others, the Oankali are rescuing our dying planet by merging genetically with mankind, but Lilith and all humanity must now share the world with uncanny, unimaginably alien creatures, their own children. So that sounds pretty awesome to me. Next book I have is In the Shadow of the Banyan by Vadi Ratner. I hope I said that correctly. And this fulfills the challenge of reading a book by an author who is from Southeast Asia. She is from Cambodia, and this book is set in Cambodia. And I'm just going to read the back of this one too because I'm really bad at summarizing the plot of books. This says, for 7-year-old Raimi, the shattering end of childhood begins with the footsteps of her father returning home in the early dawn hours, bringing details of the civil war that has overwhelmed the streets of Phnom Penh. Cambodia's capital. Soon, the family's world of carefully guarded royal privilege is swept up in the chaos of revolution and forced exodus. Over the next 4 years, Raimi clings to the only remaining vestige of her childhood, the mythical legends and poems told by her father, and fights for her improbable survival. So it sounds like it's going to be a really, hopefully, inspiring novel. And the next one's one that a lot of you have probably already read. I think that a lot of schools require this as reading now. I think I was too old for this to have really been around. I think it was published when I was in high school, so it wasn't yet considered required reading yet. But that is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. Yeah, and this fulfills the challenge of read a book set in the Middle East. This is set in Afghanistan after America's invasion. And I think it follows a wealthy boy who befriends the son of one of his father's servants. And I've heard that it's like really heartbreaking, and I'm probably gonna cry my eyes out reading it. So I can't wait. And then the next book I have on my TBR is a book called Nevada by Imogen Benny. I don't have a copy of this one yet, but it fulfills the challenge of reading a book by or about a person who is transgender. And this book follows a transgender woman living in New York City, and she finds out that her girlfriend has lied to her and her world just sort of falls apart. And then she goes on this life-changing journey. And it has fantastic reviews on Goodreads, so I'm pretty excited about that one. I think that I'm really gonna enjoy that one a lot. And it's difficult. It's kind of difficult to find stuff about and by transgender people. Not that difficult, but there's not a whole lot of it out there yet. And then the last one I have fulfills the challenge of reading a book about religion. I've probably already read a book this year, honestly, that could have fulfilled that challenge, because there are a lot of books that involve religion. But I'm choosing the book of Strange New Things by Michelle Faber. This is about a man who goes to be a missionary on a faraway land. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that it's actually on another planet. Don't quote me on that. But he goes there to be a missionary, and it changes his whole viewpoint, especially, I think, regarding his view of his wife. So I've heard mostly really great things about this, so it sounds like something that I would really enjoy, especially if it's set on another planet, because I love sci-fi. That's it. That's all the books that I know, or at least hope, that I'm going to read by the end of the year. I'm sure I'll read others as well, hopefully. Let me know what you thought. If you've read some of these books, let me know what you thought about them. If you haven't read some of them and you want to do a buddy read of one, then let me know, because I'm always down for a buddy read. Yeah, also make sure to check out my friend Finus's comic book if you're interested as well. Link down below. Also check out Megan and I's 1,000 subscriber announcement video. We're doing a Q&A and also a giveaway. So I'll also link that down below. And thanks everyone for watching, and if you're not subscribed already, please do so, and there'll be links below where you can find myself and Megan other places online, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!